Good morning. Happy Tuesday, folks. I had to sneeze like right as I was pressing record, but I wanted to get the intro done first. So, it's been a day since I was back to the old grind, and I have to say, it was a good day. I mean, it was my first day back to the norm. I wasn't expecting much to happen. I mean, yeah, it definitely did rain a lot yesterday, particularly last night. And I wasn't able to see my mom because she had to work 16 hours yesterday from 7 to 11. By the way, that is my low. I didn't really get to see my mom last night. But, I mean, everything else was perfectly fine. In fact, it felt pretty good just sort of getting back to normal. I mean, normal really is subjective, and there's a lot to consider what goes into a normal day for a person. But my high is nothing crazy bad happened. It was just a really solid day overall. And my act of kindness was not only did I empty the dehumidifier for my folks, but I also made dinner last night. Well, it was just my dad and I, and the main thing we really had was we had some leftover. Oh, there was one thing from Sunday night that we had left over. Everything else I had to make because my dad gives me a call and he says, go to the house and start making potatoes. They had one potato in their house. One potato. But they had plenty of rice, so I made some rice. And, not like rice out of the pack, well, technically this was out of a box. It was the Uncle Ben's brand rice. And when you're bored and you watch a lot of cooking related stuff like I do, you pick up a few things about cooking rice. So, yeah, I made some pretty solid rice. And we needed vegetables, so I made some Brussels sprouts. Well, my dad didn't really eat any of those, but I made Brussels sprouts, and I gotta say, I made some pretty solid Brussels sprouts too. It actually occurs to me. It's very possible that, I mentioned this last week on Thursday, Vince Vaughn's episode just might be the last episode of Hot Ones for this season. I can definitely see that being a scenario where that happens. I mean, right now, to my knowledge, because I'm trying to think, what major celebrity has something coming out soon, or what celebrity is next to take on the Hot Ones gauntlet that we haven't seen yet. And I want to say, hold on. Let me look up Rotten Tomatoes for something. Because I actually had one idea of who this week's Hot Ones guest was going to be, based on what movies are coming out. Keep in mind, I know my track record for doing this sort of thing is poor. But, okay. I mean, what am I thinking? I actually like the perfect idea for, it's so strange. Yesterday I had like the perfect idea for who this week's Hot Ones guest was gonna be. I can't think of who it is. Watch, it's probably gonna hit me sometime later today after this video is done and gets uploaded. Well, I guess as long as I'm surfing the internet right now as I'm recording this, might as well look up who I believe the 26th First Week Feast Hot Ones guest of 2024 is. It should be 26. Let me find it real fast. Oh. Hold on. No, it'd be the 27th. It'd be the 27th First Week Feast Hot Ones guest of 2024. So, the First Week Feast, so the 27th First Week Feast Hot Ones guest of 2024 is there is, oh, no way! Ooh, you know what? I wasn't wrong. It's definitely a celebrity promoting a movie. Unless, actually, knowing what this movie is, there is going to be a soundtrack for this movie, and this artist will obviously have songs on the soundtrack. So, before I say who this guest is, I need to take you back to, hold on. To the year of our Lord 2003. Okay, hold on. Wait, really? I thought Elton John did that. No, wait, he did Lion King. Anyway. So let me take you back to June of 2003. June 10th specifically. At that point in time, a certain story would have been, actually, hold on. Sorry, in order for me to tell the story proper, I need to do a quick little bit of research. Okay. Okay. So, actually, for me to really tell the story, I gotta take you back all the way to 1900, when a certain author named L. Frank Baum wrote a children's book. This children's book would later be called The Wizard of Oz, which hold on a second. So, The Wizard of Oz gets written. In the span of 39 years, moving pictures had become more prominent in the mainstream. People could go to see movies and stuff. And so, it was only inevitable that The Wizard of Oz be made into a movie. And so, on August 25th, 1939, The Wizard of Oz premiered in theaters. And it is one of the greatest films ever made. It was the first time where, for the most part, the movie takes place in color. See, back in the day, movies were only in black and white. They didn't really utilize color yet. The Wizard of Oz was the first movie that actually really bring that technology to the forefront where, I mean, we're not for the Wizard of Oz. Let's say for the sake of argument, I wanted to make videos. My videos are in black and white. If it wasn't for the Wizard of Oz, you wouldn't have that. So this was a very groundbreaking, revolutionary film. And it became so popular that there have been a bunch of spin-offs, costumes made, a lot of people. Like, this movie brought Judy Garland to the forefront in terms of being an actress. And not to mention the songs from the movie are iconic. Like, we're off to see the Wizard, the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Like, those songs. It eventually became so popular that about 103 years after the book was written, a playwright named Winnie Holzman and a songwriter named Stephen Schwartz got together and made their own little spin-off story on Broadway called Wicked, which for the most part, that story takes place from the perspective of the Wicked Witch of the West. Wicked is, you can make the case that Wicked is the greatest Broadway show of all time. That's how, popular the movie, the Broadway show is. In fact, there's literally a song in the Broadway show called Popular. And I will admit, it's actually my favorite song from that play. What can I say? It's funny. Like all things, it wouldn't be long before Wicked was finally made into a movie, which we will be getting part 1 of later this year in December, right around the holiday season where people want to be together and go watch movies. Needless to say, in order to promote such a movie, you need to have a star-studded cast. One that can act, but most definitely can sing. Because remember, this is based on a Broadway show. There is going to be music. Now, obviously, in picking, actors and actresses to play these iconic roles, you needed someone to play Glinda. And they didn't just get anyone. They got, arguably, one of the best singers of our time at the moment. And that singer is this week's Hot Ones guest. That's right, folks. We got Ariana Grande in the Hot Ones chair. Now, here's the thing. I know for a fact that this movie, Wicked, won't be coming out until later this year. Probably the very end of the year. In fact, hold on. Okay, November 24th. So, Thanksgiving. Okay, Thanksgiving. Wicked is going to be coming out Thanksgiving. And, I'm looking at this cast, right now. Michelle Yeoh, Jeff Goldblum, who's going to be the Wizard. Ethan Slater, Jonathan Bailey, Ariana Grande, I just mentioned is Glenda. Cynthia Erivo, who's Miss Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West. This is a star-studded cast. The fact that you got anyone to be on any of these people to be on Jeff Goldblum has been on Hot Ones before. But anyone else, that's just phenomenal. Hold on. Is Ariana Grande promoting a new album? Ariana Grande. New album. Well, technically she has Okay, Eternal Sunshine was just her latest album. That was way back in March. Yeah, she's got to be promoting Wicked. She's already doing press release stuff for the movie Wicked. That'd be the only reason why she'd be on Hot Ones right now. Well, that's my theory anyway. But, actually, I mentioned the song Popular earlier. That is a Glenda song. Ariana Grande is going to be bringing Christian Chenoweth's iconic song to life. See, Christian Chenoweth, phenomenal actress. She actually was the original Glenda when Wicked was on Broadway. In fact, not to sound corny, the song was so popular that way back when I was in high school, we had a big concert at the end of the year called Pops. It was a bunch of choir kids did. I was in choir, so I got to go. I got to be part of it. There was one specific choir called the freshman women. It was basically a choir consisting of all freshman women because women did more singing than guys did. Their song was popular. That was the first time I ever actually heard that song. Full disclosure, I've never actually seen Wicked on Broadway. I've never actually, seen the show. But when I tell you that Wicked is probably you can make the case that Wicked is the greatest Broadway show of all time. I am not kidding. Popular, Defying Gravity, The Wizard and I. Like, I could keep going. I mean, it really was only a matter of time before they made Wicked into a movie. Personally, my one nitpick, and this really is a nitpick, considering that I do believe that Disney is backing up this movie, I really think they should have made Wicked animated. That way you could have got Idina Menzel, who was the original Miss Elphaba, and Christian Chenoweth, who was the original Glenda, doing those roles. I mean, for all intents and purposes, both of those women can still act. Hell, Idina Menzel is Elsa from Frozen. You could do this. But that's my nitpick. Honestly, I think they just want to except for that one, Oz movie that came out in, 2014, 2015, that was horrible. Everything Wizard of Oz related has been live action. So I guess I can see why they wanted to make this live action too. I mean, again, I personally have never seen Wicked, the story from beginning to end. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be in a hurry to watch this movie. But, come on, that movie's going to make bank. In fact, I do believe that this movie's going to be so big, I think they're going to break Wicked down into two parts. Having Act 1 end, and that's the end of the movie, and the second movie, which would come out later, is Act 2. Actually, is Wicked going to be in two parts? Because originally that was the plan. Let me look it up for a second. I was correct. The theatrical release in the United States for Wicked is scheduled in November 22nd, 2024, so Thanksgiving. With Wicked Part 2 slated for November 26th of 2025. So November 22nd, 2024, that's when we're getting Wicked. We're getting Wicked Part 2 next Thanksgiving. Okay. Alright. Listen, the fact we're getting anyone to be honest, Wicked is scheduled, Wicked Part 1 is scheduled to be probably one of the biggest movies of this year. In a way, it doesn't really surprise me that they're promoting the movie now. In fact, this movie has been in development hell for years, largely because multiple delays due to the pandemic and getting, again, the cast together. So, and not to mention, John M. Chu is directing this movie. For those of you who don't know, John M. Chu, or John Murray Chu as he goes by, is actually one of the best directors in Hollywood right now. He directed Crazy Rich Asians, which I have said before is on my Mount Rushmore of rom-coms. Actually, he also did In the Heights, which I haven't seen yet, but I want to. Especially since I actually have seen In the Heights on Broadway, and it's one of the best Broadway shows I've ever seen. All in all, I'm very excited. Needless to say, if you are a Wizard of Oz fan and or a Wicked fan, there is a chance you're going to want to come see this episode of Hot Ones. Because it wouldn't surprise me at all if everyone who's affiliated with the movie Wicked is already promoting stuff for the movie. I'm excited. If season 25 of Hot Ones ends this week, which I think it will, we're in for something special. So I hope you all like this video. If you like this on YouTube channel, on social media, as always, I'm doing homies with you. For you guys watching the show for the day. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Oh, happy Tuesday, folks. And remember, if you guys want to talk, channel will be here to let me know what you're about. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.